So when I first got asked to give a TEDx talk on this year's theme, The Space Between, it seemed sort of obvious that I'd come and talk to you about the juggling I do between my two full-time jobs, one as a single mother of three and one as a professor scientist here at UC San Diego. But when I started really thinking about my daily challenge, I realized that it wasn't so much about juggling between motherhood and career. I realized that whether I was a stay-at-home mom or a career woman without any kids, I would still face the same problem I have, which is walking around with this constant voice in my head saying, there's so much that I want to do, how am I ever going to get it all done? And I'm sure this is something we can all relate to, whether you have kids, don't have kids, have a career, or don't have a career. And in thinking about this feeling of wanting more, what came to mind was one of my favorite movies when I was growing up. That was made in 1939. Yep, The Wizard of Oz, right? Now the message of this movie is pretty straightforward. Dorothy dreams about somewhere over the rainbow, where there's got to be something bigger and better than the simple farm life she's living in Kansas. So she goes out on the road to follow her dream and have an adventure, and of course to keep her little dog alive, who would otherwise be destroyed. And we've all seen the movie, so we know she does go out on a great adventure, one filled with a good witch and a bad witch, and a scarecrow and a tin man, and a lion. And at the end of the adventure, she's learned something really, really important. And that is that there's no place like home. And she says it with one of the most memorable lines in Hollywood.
If I ever go looking for my heart's desire again, I won't look any further than my own backyard.
So no farther than my own backyard. In other words, all I need is right here, right now. And that is a beautiful, beautiful message. But, on the other hand, no further than my own backyard? Are you kidding me? That's not very far. And I can't help but wonder if that's telling little girls everywhere that they should just stay put and not follow their dreams. Don't get me wrong, I still love the movie. But, flash ahead, 40 years, to another movie that came out in the 1980s when I was growing up. Can you see where I'm going with this? And that movie is, woo, Flashdance. Now, Flashdance is a movie about a girl named Alex that comes from a very humble background. For her day job, she's a welder in a steel mill, as if that theme isn't already cool enough. But the real theme of the movie is that she's a self-taught dancer who wants nothing more than to get into dance school so she can have a career as a dancer, because that is her Oz. And she pulls it off with one of the most amazing dance scenes I've ever seen. What a great movie. 30 years later, it still inspires me. Okay, so on the one hand, we've got this great message from Dorothy, who realizes that all she needs is right here, right now. On the other hand, we've got this great message from the woman in Flashdance, who's going for the glory and doesn't stop dancing until she lands front and center stage. But what is the space between Kansas and Oz? How do we stay focused on appreciating that all we need is really right here, right now, today, but also stay focused on our dreams that exist in the future? But first, let me ask you, when you hear the word dreams, what comes to mind? Maybe it's getting into dance school or landing a great job or having those 3 kids that you always wanted. For me, one of my dreams was to become a university professor, to teach young minds and to do studies on topics that excite me. That dream came true for me when I was 30. I can still remember the day that I got the phone call from UCSD telling me that they were choosing me for the job. I seriously felt like the woman from Flashdance. I was like, what a feeling. I mean, it was amazing. But the thing is that just because that dream came true it wasn't like that was the end of it. It wasn't like the mission was accomplished, because from there I created new dreams. So for example, as a scientist at UCSD, one of the things that my lab studies is well-being. So one of my dreams is to study mindfulness to increase student well-being. But that's not my only dream. I've got other dreams, like I want to train for a marathon, and I want to start a new rock band. And I've got other dreams. Well, okay, maybe they're more like goals, but goals are really important too. So one of my goals is to raise my 3 kids with as much love and a sense of adventure as possible. Another goal I have is to teach my classes at UCSD as wholeheartedly as I can. And then I've got more goals. Well, okay, maybe they're not goals, but they're chores, but they got to get done. And that includes getting dinner ready and doing the dishes and the laundry and helping my kids with their homework and dyeing my roots. So here it is, folks. This is the list of my future. Ugh. It's kind of messy, though. It's a lot of stuff. Is this my Oz? Because I gotta tell you, I don't always look at this list and feel like, what a feeling. I mean, a lot of the times I look at this list and I think, dreams and goals and chores, oh my. And dreams and goals and chores, oh my. And dreams and goals and chores, oh my. And it gets even worse, because for a lot of the things on this list, they have to get done right away, as soon as possible. But you know what? Maybe it's not such a bad thing that they need to get done as soon as possible. Because I have made this great deal with myself. I'm sure some of you have too. Which is that I'm going to allow myself to be happy once I get the things on this list done. So if I can just get them done really soon, I'm just going to reach happiness faster, right? Well, as we know, that is a losing battle, because there's never a time when we really have everything done. Whether you're a career person trying to get into dance school or raising kids. So I ask you, why is it so hard for us to just be happy now? Why are we always freaking out about trying to get things done? I mean, look at the data. Look at the data of your own life. The data tell us that we almost always do somehow get done the dreams, the goals, the chores. So why are we freaking out? Maybe it's because we've convinced ourselves that we have to live in one of 2 places. The first place is living in the here and now, living like the Buddha. All I need is within me, right here, right now, on this Kansas farm. The other place is living in the future, because that's where who I want to become, the goals that I want to achieve, where my Oz exists. I have to keep my eyes on the future if I'm going to get the things on this list done. But what if we could embrace living in the space between the 2 extremes? What if we could simply enjoy the process of getting from Kansas to Oz? But before we even try to answer that question, let me point out to you that the here and now and the future are not that different. They're tied together every day, but we never stop to notice. The person that you are right now, whatever you have going on in your life right now, is the result of some goal you set a week, a month, a year ago. Have you ever stopped to thank the person that you were yesterday, a month ago, a year ago, for getting you here today? And while we're talking about today, can you be grateful for who you are today? Can you end each day by saying, I'm continuing to move towards my goals and dreams, and I'm doing the best I can, and my best is always good enough. In fact, my best might be pretty damn amazing. See, the person that you are today will lead you to the person that you are becoming tomorrow. Have faith in the person that you will be tomorrow. You'll get it done. Your dreams, your chores, your goals. You always do. So embrace living in the space between the here and now and where you want to go. Appreciate all you've already accomplished. Be grateful for the gift that is today, and stay excited about what's on the other side of the rainbow. Because all the spaces in between, are just filled with possibilities. I don't know. Maybe Dorothy thought that she either had to live a life of the here and now on a Kansas farm or go out and have some crazy adventure in Oz. Personally, I think she can have it all. Thank you.